What up, world?
What's up,
We on,
everybody?
right?
Yeah, man. Geektastic XIV here on FranklinArmstrong.com. If you guys are tuned in right now, you're seeing some different faces. Well, just one different face. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our guest, Devin the Dude.
What's up?
Always acting mad rude, holding it down with the tude. How many cheesy 90s radio names can I give this dude? I don't know.
Just keep going, man. Just keep going. You're on a roll.
I apologize to everyone that felt both
so far.
painful and natural at the same time, and I don't know if that's a good thing. But yeah, guys, Geektastic Cypher, this is episode 26 of the season, so we're technically through the halfway mark if we actually try to get to 52 for a year, which is unlikely at this point because it's August and we're at the 26th. But we are. If anything, we are past the halfway point because we usually end with around 48 in a year.
There you go.
So we're at a little.
So you only usually miss 4. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We tend to I know, especially during Christmas time, I do a few with like my buddy Mobs. Remember last year we did the Star Wars stuff and whatnot. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that this year though, because there won't be any movies coming out at the end of the year. That's a whole.
Well, you never know. Straight to Disney Plus, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Even if they do it, they're like the big movie at the end of the year was supposed to be the Eternals, and now it's going to be Black Widow in November if the theaters can actually get back to opening, which would be nice, but also yeah.
But wait, aren't theaters already open? It's just not people don't want to go.
There's theaters open in some places and theaters aren't open in other places. So in Montreal, I think they're open because we're allowed to gather 250 people now. Damn. Okay, so we're not streaming on Facebook again, and I don't know why, and that really sucks. But we are on YouTube, Twitch, and on my Twitter. So if you guys are tuned in, I'm going to probably share the Twitch link for people. I don't know why it's not working, though. This is unfortunate, guys. I do apologize for anyone who's trying to watch on Facebook. This is I've been having this issue with Restream.
Yeah, because all those Gen Xers only use Facebook, man.
I know. It's true. And it's one of our biggest demos for people watching the show. So
Twitch? What the fuck is Twitch?
All the kids are on Twitch. But yeah, I mean, we're also live on Facebook. So Gen Xers still like Facebook. Facebook's like one of the first things that Gen Xers can be like, I remember when I was watching it on
I really
the
don't
YouTubes.
anymore, but anyways.
No, I know it's true. Yeah, it really is Facebook. But Facebook's been taken over by the Russians, guys. Didn't we know that? Is that not what the kids are saying?
Taken over by the Russians.
Wasn't that the problem? Guys, what's going on? Someone tell me. I don't know. I don't know these things. I don't know these facts or fictions.
My finger is no longer on the pulse. I don't know the answers to these questions.
You say pulse. I say it was a dead body when I walked in the room. You're out here talking about how you hope there was a. I have no clue. Okay, let me just share this on my Let's share this on the wall. But yeah, if people are tuned in, also you can still tune in on Mixlr if you guys are watching this. And oh, you know what I will do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell people to just go to FranklinArmstrong.com/live and watch it there because I'm gonna embed it into the live broadcast page. Bong, kids, and I'm gonna do that whilst talking geek stuff. Let's see how how. Let's see. Already, I'm fucking up. Let's see if I can focus on two things at once. Much like Dave showing us his Star Wars pants.
No, it's Deadpool riding a unicorn. That's
oh
right.
Lord, your obsession with Deadpool.
It's an image from one of the TV shows or on the.
Dave, are you in your boxers?
I wish.
Yo, do you guys ever watch John Oliver?
Yeah.
No.
Man, John Oliver does this thing where he does a segment called And Now, and one of the segments on And Now was at one point one week, every news outlet was doing this thing where they're asking people, well, are you wearing pants? And it was like all the news shows across, like local news shows, national news shows, they're all doing it. And the and now segment is when they do like a supercut of that specific thing. So it was just a clip of all these different newscasters talking to their partners or guests or friends on the show, being like, "So, are you wearing your pants or are you in boxers today?" And it was just it was so painful.
Like,
it was
I
bad.
don't know what that is, but your pompous white guy interview voice is always so great to hear.
I didn't say he was white. I'm not. I did. Dave.
I'm just teasing. I'm just saying, like, your pitch voice there is just hilarious.
This is offensive, Dave. There are children watching this show. I don't want them to think that I think all white newscasters sound the same. White newscasters matter, Dave. They matter.
I can't rebuttal to this. I'm not gonna rebuttal to this. There's no way of me not digging in a deeper hole.
But yeah, guys. So we got Devin here this week. We're gonna be talking about some cool stuff. But first off, Devin, let's introduce you. Do you want to tell the people who you are, good sir?
Well, for the last 5 months, I've been at home, being in the entertainment industry. But just to ensure everyone, I still come wearing pants.
There you go. Every podcast should do that. All of us, prove yourselves.
Exactly, prove yourself. Yeah, actually, I'm one of the program directors at Geekicon.
Yep.
I know you guys have been chatting up a couple of times, mentioning things, about the convention from time to time, like what's been going on, actually what's going on with all cons these days. And also, I am the creator behind the nerdy music series Nerdstock. Hence that.
Dope.
It's a great concept, yeah.
What inspired you to start Nerdstock in Montreal, or just in general?
Actually, it's a good question. I've been doing shows and music for about 6 years now, like live concerts and all that. But my passion has always been like conventions and stuff. Like I'm an old school nerd, man. Like I was a nerd before it was considered cool, before the whole geek themes and all that. And back in the 80s, I was still playing with my toys, watching the cartoons, and I started attending comic conventions probably in the year. First one was in 1990. Pretty sure at the Montreal Delta. Basically,
in the basement.
No, I think it was in the basement, but then eventually went up onto the main floor a couple of years down the road.
Because I know the first one I went to was, I think, also at the Delta in the basement. I remember going down the stairs.
Yeah, exactly. It was down the stairs, but I think there was one year they actually kept it on the main floor because there was trouble with people bringing the stuff and all. But yeah, that's where I started going. But I also did other things like at Bono and stuff. Anyways, why did I start Nerdstock? So yeah. I noticed in a lot of other cities, especially in the U.S., this is one thing I really give them props for. A lot of their cons, you got like Mag West, you got PAX, like a lot of these big conventions that also introduced the music side to it. Like not just like a band that sings about Superman, but like bands dressed like Superman singing about like comic books and stuff.
Yeah,
like really niche style bands and music. And those guys have been doing shows like that all over the States for years now. And in the beginning, I pitched the idea to some people I knew, and I'm like, look, I want to put together a nerdy concert. It's like I want to bring both worlds. I want to bring the pop culture world with the music world and mesh them together. And basically, that's what Nerdstock. I found a lot of local bands that are actually like super nerdy. I like their whole concept of their bands is like their whole like image is based off like some of their favorite Jap animes or some of their favorite comic books, or based off of like a lot of them it's like pixel music or based off like old school video games and stuff. Actually, if you check out the Nerdstock Facebook page, you'd see a lot of like bands already I've worked with in the past, and we're going to be working with soon too. So I wanted to introduce the nerd music culture in Montreal because no one else is doing it. You'll find a lot of these quote unquote nerdy bands, but they'll be mixed up in regular mainstream shows. But it's like they get overshadowed obviously because usually they're openers and stuff. But I want to really put an emphasis on that form of style of music, and it's a lot of fun. It's great seeing a bunch of guys dressed up in costume on stage, jumping around and doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a short. I've seen a short too. It's good.
Yeah, same here.
And what I mean, what got you into Geekitcon then? And like what for those who don't know, what is Geekitcon?
Well, Geekycon's the new kid on the block in the pop culture conventions. Our first one was, I would say our first one was last year. It was happening at the Old Port. I wasn't involved directly in the beginning with them. I kind of met them in transition because what happened is I wanted to bring nerd stock to multitudes of conventions. I don't want to brand it to only one con. I want to bring it to wherever that culture is like hanging around. If I can bring it to other conventions and stuff, that's awesome too. So I pitched the idea to the guys at Geekit saying, hey, I noticed you guys don't have any music element to your con for this year. Do you want a show? And it didn't take much convincing. I told them who I had lined up. At that time, I had one band that's more well known is Double Experience. Those are guys I've worked with on numerous occasions. Their official hashtag is they are an Ottawa-based nerd rock band. They also did some of the music for Destiny and PS4.
Oh, dope.
Like yeah, no, these guys are really, really good. They're a 3-piece that sound like a 5-piece instrument band. But I pitched the idea to them, and I put on a show at Petit Campus, which was not too far from where we had the convention. And basically, people who went to the con also had access for the show and stuff. And they liked what they saw, and they asked, hey, Devin, we're more into new mainstream stuff, but we're still lacking like old school like knowledge of like conventions, like the old comic guys and artists and stuff, which they wanted to also incorporate for like this year.
Yeah.
So because of the connections I had in the network I had, I said, yeah, sure, it'll be my pleasure. I'll jump in. And then they brought me on board.
That's awesome, man.
Cool.
I mean, it's never easy to find a niche in or like a job in the geek sphere that you get to just enjoy, you know, like unless you are yourself an artist or a writer, it's kind of just like, okay, I appreciate this content, but I'm not an artist. I don't draw. I haven't written anything. I haven't been working on that for years, but I do think that there's like a specific thing in the culture that's missing. And I always appreciate when people see those missing things and try and bring those pieces together for the puzzle. So
exactly.
I mean, that's always fun and it's always great. And I mean, I definitely know that there are people who, tons of geeks who appreciate what you're doing because we've been pretty much ignored for a long time.
Oh, no, for sure. And also, you're right. If you're not an artist or performer of someone in that culture, it's also really hard to become part of these conventions.
Yeah.
Like an average Joe like myself who has like a passion for this stuff, but I also have a heavy background in marketing, sales, and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And which also brings like a lot. I bring a lot to the table on top of my extensive network within that community. But it was literally landing my dream job, being able to work with them. Unfortunately, because the pandemic, we're all on the sidelines right now. So it really sucks because we had a lot of big things planned for this year. But
this is the
show
was the
must
second
go
year,
on,
right?
and things are still happening now.
This is the second year for Geekit?
Yes, this would have been the second year, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely because we were supposed to be on a panel, and I know we were all really excited to do it because it would have been really fucking amazing. We haven't gotten to do a panel yet, and there's a lot of cool stuff that we would have wanted to discuss and just like be, you know, just the idea of being geeks somewhere and having that fun and enjoying ourselves. I know that
not costing you an arm and a leg to do it either.
yeah, that's one of the other things, right? Like
it was like totally free for so
yeah,
that was cool.
And I know major cons, you know, one of the things that's really hard about major con culture is there's just this constant like, you know, San Diego Comic-Con was originally supposed to just be about the comic books, right? Yep. Like and you know, I'm not going to get mad at people for recognizing that comic book culture has fed most of the current pop culture. It just sucks that turned into such a huge business that the original genesis of the culture started to just get pushed aside.
No.
You know, there's a lot of comic book staples, like stores and staples that stopped doing San Diego Comic-Con. I was reading articles about them having to withdraw because they just didn't feel like there was enough visibility for them. And that I always think that's so sad to think that they felt that way and that it was time for them to leave, you know?
Cons have evolved a lot over the years. I've seen them start like in the raggedy, dingy hotel basement rooms, like you
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
grown into these massive, like I call them more like museums now. It's a lot of look and don't touch, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
And also, it's not like I'm not saying that these cons suck. They're like
No.
really pretty to look at, man.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much cool stuff, but at the same time, you're so overwhelmed that you're actually missing the elements which built these things that fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
And
I have
also, what gets to me is the amount of money we pay to get into these places is unreal.
Yeah, I have friends that were vendors, and you know, they tell me it's really hard sometimes because people don't even have the chance to stop at their booths, and I always find that really unfortunate because it's the idea that, you know, at the big draw, I get that the big draw are now the big guest. I understand.
Yeah.
The bigger the guest, the more visibility you have, the more people come through, and then everyone's expected like, oh, there's so many people, you'll make your sales. But I know some people who don't end up covering their tables at cons, and that's hard, and that's something I feel that it should never happen. It should never be that the guest is so big that everyone comes, but people aren't even able to. You know, like specifically one year, a friend of mine was telling me he had one of the most beautiful spots. He had one of the best spots at the con. He had his table, he had his stuff set up, but where he was had so much foot traffic and it led to the signing section. So he, you know, this first year he thought, oh man, I'm gonna make a killing, but no one could stop because they couldn't stop long enough to look at his stuff. They were all being literally pushed as they tried to stop. And I think that's one of the things I'm hoping that the conventions can figure out something about creating pathways. I mean, aside from the pandemic and the whole convention system is going to have to change, obviously. But even before that, I was always thinking like there should be a system in place where they can control traffic, and you know, people can almost like jump off the train, as one might say, to stop and look at the stuff they want to see. Because the way it was, I mean, Dave, you might be able to talk to this because you've had a table at the convention, and I think you guys have done pretty well, but I can tell there's days where people can't even stop to talk to you guys.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is that, I mean, first of all, when people go to cons, first you have those big attractions, then sometimes you have to take into consideration, sometimes people do find certain rarities that they're like, I never thought I was going to get this, so I'm going to spend a bunch of money.
Yeah.
I know for us, there was a lot of like, it was always the same thing on the Friday. We'd see Friday and early Saturday, we would see people and they'd be like, I really like this, but I have something in mind, or there's something I want to see first. And then like, only then will I know if I have any money for stuff. And like, the problem is like, whereas your friend had the issue that he was too close.
Yeah.
So maybe like, you know, he's at the entrance of where they go, and then they go right, and then they go see the person, and they go do like a whole U, and they never go back to see him.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel for us being in the artist row in 1 year specifically, we were so far back that by the time people actually got to our row,
they'd already spent.
They had no money.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of the best spot is to be actually as dead center in the con as possible, so that when people leave the main attraction, they'll at least get down to you and maybe have some extra money.
Yeah.
But then again, you also have some people who are like, I'm going to come back, I just want to check out something else, and then they come right back and they get everything that they wanted too, you know? So it's like, it's also, I guess, the attraction of whatever you're selling as well. Like, some people, like, I find that there's different example. I think the problem between someone selling a comic book versus someone selling just art versus someone selling, like, toys and or homemade stuff, all of you have different types of hurdles. Because, for example, like, when I go to a con, and I find this funny to say because I'm in the category that I completely avoid, is I don't usually go down the artist alley, because for me, I'm usually there to get stuff. Like I want
I'm
to
the
get.
opposite. I actually like the artist alleys better. I love seeing the local artists.
I roam. I'm
Yeah.
a roamer. I go in and I go aisle by
Yeah.
aisle and I just look for stuff. And I do agree with what Dave's saying with regards to running out of money early. But sometimes what I try and do is I put myself on daily budgets. So like Friday I can only spend this much money. Saturday I can only spend this much money. Sunday I can only spend this much money. But sorry, Dave. I'll let you finish what you were saying.
No, but I was just gonna say, like, so, but like, I still also go down the aisles, like what you were saying. But it's just that although I take a little look, usually I don't really buy comics because for me, I have my pull list and that's all I'm taking really because I have what I like to collect.
Yeah.
But there are times that someone's selling a comic book, but he has such good art that I'm like, oh well, maybe I'll pick up a piece because like example at my house right now, there's three specific pieces I got at Comic-Con, one every year that was great. Like one year I saw a guy, he's like, I do artwork for these comic books, and he's like, I also do these like random art, and he had like the three Robins in like three different images in a big shelf, glass casing, which was great. There's one year I got a lineup of all the female villains from Batman, which was great, and there's one year that I actually got something for my bedroom that was like just it goes to like Avatar. I have Aang sleeping with his like little Miko, I think is or I forget the little animal name. It's like
the little
flying
like
squirrel.
spider monkey flying. Yeah. Okay.
Like he has his name escapes me. He's sleeping there, and then they're both sleeping like he's sleeping in a circle and he's sleeping in a circle, and they're sleeping in a circle on Appa. And it's just like
that's cute.
Yeah, it's like one
dope.
of those things that I see. I'm like, this is adorable. You can't like.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then you see everyone else's stuff. You're like, I gotta support somebody. But like, honestly, for me, against my own detriment, I guess, like I'm not really big on buying comic books. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole comic book industry in itself is having a kind of revamp these days. That's a whole other conversation. I mean, Comic Gate has caused such a stir. There's a lot of conversations happening right now about what it means to be a comic book fan, what it means to be a comic book artist. I'm always shocked by the idea of like freedom of speech. Like there's so many people who yell freedom of speech but aren't ready for the consequences. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequences. We've had that conversation before. You know, if you're gonna be like, what's his name, Van Shriver, the comic book artist who worked on the Flash back in the day, like, dude, I have Van Shriver originals that I used to. I don't even, ever since I moved, I haven't unpacked half my stuff. But I have an original Flash sketch that he sold me years and years ago. And then to see some of the things that he's written, I was so sad to find out that that's the type of person he is in his heart, and then to see that not only just that, but there's multiple people like that in the culture, who just constantly yell social justice warrior, but don't want to take responsibility for some of the stuff that they're saying, and it's just like, okay. I mean, that's a weird way to play this game. Also, you're in an industry now where, and it's funny, I would say that nerds, comic book nerds and nerds, are the first people who would have figured out how to acquire content for free. Is that a fair statement? I'm not trying to be mean, but is that a fair statement?
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
So.
Amen.
If you're in an industry where the classic nerd image and idea is someone who will figure out the best way to get free content, you might want to expand outside of that fandom and hope that other people who are willing to pay for stuff will start to pay for stuff.
Yeah,
at least that's
our culture. Sorry, go on.
No, I said at least in my opinion, as I see it.
No, of course, because like you said, like the culture. It's really funny how you say that because like the nerd culture is one, like we're explorative, right? Like we'll figure out how to link things together and how to figure out puzzles and whatnot. So why wouldn't we figure out the puzzle of trying to get some stuff for free?
Regularly. Nerds are the reason for Napster. Nerds are the reason for Crunchyroll. Nerds are the reason for half the sites that you guys are only learning about now where you can view content. And nerds are the same people that will find a way to read your comic books for free. And then when the culture expands outside of nerd and it's a lot more people paying attention who themselves get converted into like nerd culture and like start reading comic books and are like interested in this stuff, and they're not, but they're willing to pay because they're just like, oh, what's this indie title that I'm hearing about? Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna actually pay for that. But then they read the comic book and they have opinions on it, and then those opinions might not gel with who you are as a writer, so now you get mad, and now you're out here saying all sorts of really crazy stuff and calling them social justice warriors because they've pointed out that they're not cool with some of the stuff you're saying or doing. That's a whole other.
That's all other discussion.
Yeah.
But speaking of nerds liking puzzles and shit and figuring things out, Devin, isn't there like a scavenger hunt that Geekit's doing instead?
Yeah. So basically, like I said before, the show must go on because this year it's still very uncertain times. I know many of the conventions are trying to like our fingers crossed for like October and November even. I know like the ones in Toronto, the other big ones here in Montreal, they're all still hoping that we can do it, but we're just taking it day by day. But in the meantime, what we have organized is the first ever Geekit Hunt, Scavenger Hunt here in Montreal, set to take on August 29th, starting at 1 p.m. So basically, we worked in association with Amaze Escape Game.
Cool.
They're one of our affiliates that were also at the con last year. They were also going to be at our convention this year. Last year, they brought their escape car to the convention, which was really cool. They had something else really cool planned for this year. I don't want to reveal it because it's still part of the planning process.
Yeah, of course.
But so what we did is it's like we need to do something because one thing that makes us very different from the other conventions, we're very new. Year 2 was crucial for us.
Yeah.
Because we only had the one con, and obviously it's hard to judge a con based on its first one.
Yeah.
We had some hiccups, we had some goods, we had some bads, we had a whole bunch of things. It was a learning curve for the convention. But I personally, another reason why I jumped in with them is I see a lot of potential with this convention. These guys have a huge plan ahead of them, and I'm very excited to when we'll be able to actually reveal what those plans are. But we're supposed to reveal them after the second con.
Yeah.
But to remain relevant within the market, we can't just keep sitting back and doing nothing and hoping to God that we're going to be able to have our second con, because we'll just get lost in translation. So basically, during the entire summer, we've done like some video panels. We were streaming, like we're getting some guest celebrities doing talks for us, one-on-one 101 lessons and stuff. And now for the end of summer, we're doing the Geekit Hunt. So basically this is, it's literally a scavenger hunt across like sections of Montreal. The team, I believe our capacity for we're trying to reach around 500 people, but no, it's not all at once totaled.
Yeah.
Basically, we're looking for team sizes. So basically 3 to 5 players per team, and every team gets divided by a wave of 15 people for every 30 minutes.
Okay.
And we start off. Our starting off point is the Meltdown Lounge. You know the Meltdown?
It's on Saint Denis. I had the I wrote the address. 2035 Saint Denis Street. Yeah.
So we're starting off there, and it's like actually here, I'll read you the exact synopsis. A mad scientist has opened a portal to the world of magic and fantasy in the city of Montreal. We need your help to find and close the portal before anything bad happens. I wonder what that could be. Geekit Hunt is an anime and video game themed outdoor escape game where you'll explore the city and solve mysteries in the downtown area of Montreal. This game respects social distancing, and safety measures, of course, are all taken in place.
Awesome.
So, yeah, this is exciting. We already got...
I had a question.
We already got quite a few people talking about it right now.
Is it like walking distance type thing? Will people need like to bike? Will people be able to take the metro?
I think a lot of it is going to remain in walking distance area.
Cool.
We're trying to keep it spread out, but a little more centralized, like Saint Denis, Saint Laurent area around there.
Okay.
We don't want this. Obviously, we're not going to send people from the east to the West Island, although I'd find that'd be funny.
Oh God.
Answer me this 3.
Riding on the train on a
Yeah, seriously,
on a
it's
Saturday. They're just
man,
like,
you meant Montreal West,
yeah.
not Montreal West Island.
They're like, wait, we have a train in Montreal? What the hell?
What's going on?
It's a magical
Kirkland?
train. It just appeared. It's like, oh, okay. That's hilarious.
There's stuff past NDG.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and here's the best part about it, because we want to encourage people. Basically, it's hard. Obviously, no one wants to be indoors, and we've been.
Yeah.
I, for one, have also been stuck indoors for like the last 5 months or so. And
Yeah.
I think getting outside would be something really good. And we're not charging a penny for this either. It's totally free.
Dope. That's awesome.
Cool. And is it something that if you want to go, right? Do we just show up, or do you have to buy a ticket? Oh, not buy a ticket, but get a raffle ticket or something, say you're part of it.
Basically, you have to register yourself, and if you want to register a team, you can go to our Facebook page. I'm not sure where I can add the link in this thing on your, but I have the link here.
Yeah, you can just send it to us.
Hunt.
Yeah.
Copy.
Send it to us and we'll put it in the description of the episode.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just email it to us after. But
yeah, you got to register, and right now the way it's going, there's only 70 spots left.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
And it
pretty
was
cool.
originally, how many people were you guys planning to have?
I think the original number was close to 500. Realistically, I don't think it's going to be that many.
Okay.
But I know the numbers have changed a bit. Tom was supposed to bring that up today, but unfortunately,
He wasn't
he's
able to make it.
indisposed.
Yeah.
And but right now, from what I know, is there's only 70 spots left.
Oh wow.
And,
Hey man. Yeah, like you said, people are dying to get outside.
August 29th at 1 p.m.
But yeah, I if anything, people are dying to get outside. I
think this is great. It's family oriented. It's fun. It's like playing, and it's organized by one of the popular escape game companies here in Montreal.
And assuming that you're like if you're novice or if you're expert at like hunting, for lack of a better term, what would be around how long it would take to actually complete the course? Do you know?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Not right now.
Okay.
Well, if anything,
but basically this game is designed.
That's part of the fun, right?
Everybody. We're not making it like super hard for like only those who are experienced. We want everyone to have a good time. So it doesn't matter if you're a novice, an amateur, or a high qualified like game puzzler guy or whatever. No, this game's really for everyone. It's also meant for the like families to come with their kids, just to have fun outside, man.
Yeah. All right, man. That's dope. Guys, you heard it. Once again, it's going to be and the start time is 1 p.m. I think I saw.
1 p.m. it is.
Yeah, so it's
Saturday, August 29th.
Yeah, at 2035 Saint Denis Street in Montreal, Quebec. If you guys need directions, you can go on to Geekycon's Facebook event. You can look up Geekit Hunt, and you'll find the Facebook event very easily. All the information is there. That's dope, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know if I will be able to do it because I will be starting back at the office right after that. So I'm going to be in a little bit of a slight panic mode with regards to figuring out going into the office and, trying to see if my hazmat suit fits properly. But
I'm looking at those to get my kids for school because I can't have them home. We need to work, man.
Oh, boy. Going back to school, that's a whole other scary
God,
conversation.
that's another thing I don't even want to jump into right now.
Yeah. But you know what we can, speaking of schools, Umbrella Academy, folks.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about only the first 2 episodes because Dave is too lazy to watch.
Boo, Dave.
Yeah, Dave was just like, watching Netflix, that takes too much time. I have my girlfriend to spend time with.
It's too much.
There was a season 2.
Lost in space, this young man. But yeah, guys, Umbrella Academy season 2 has started, and the reviews have been very positive. I don't know if you guys have heard or seen any of the reviews, but Toby, who was telling us early on that he was seeing a lot of great positive reviews for the series, and then we were just like, I was very excited. And then it launched on the 31st. My partner was working, so I didn't get to binge race it like I usually do. But if anything, that was actually probably the nicer way to watch a series. We watched 2 episodes a night, and then on Sunday, I think we finished it off in one shot. And it's solid. We're only going to talk about the first 2 episodes. Dave, we're going to let you go first so that we make sure we don't
Yeah.
go past what you're discussing.
Well, I mean, the one thing I really liked is they had like a. I mean, when I was watching, they had like a 2 or 3 minute like video of like saying
Yeah,
like
the
a
recap.
recap of the
Yeah.
last episode, which I thought was done like very well.
Very well, yeah.
I also found like because you jump into it right away, right? Like the meteor is hitting Earth, and it's actually funny because like once I saw the intro video, I was like, I still want to watch the last 10 minutes of the last episode because I wanted to remember like the little things that happen to certain people. But what I liked is within the first episode or two, you get a splash of everyone and you get splash of questions for everyone. So like,
Yeah.
first and foremost, when they try and do a time travel, instead of all landing at the same spot, they're all landing in the same spot but at different time periods, which was really
Yeah.
I thought an interesting twist. I was a little thrown off because at the end of the first season, you kind of see them regressing in age a little bit potentially, but they decided to just go with their regular bodies, which I think is a smarter choice.
I didn't. Do you notice them regressing in age? I didn't notice that.
I noticed a little bit of that when they were doing the last transport. And
yeah,
it
but
made
that
sense to me.
that would have been a
Maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me because in my brain I'm like, well, they should all regress like 5 did, but alas, they didn't.
Oh yeah, that would have been really bad for the casting though, because they would have to
that would've
recast the
been a
entire.
hellacious
Yeah.
thing. But sorry, I'm just gonna clean this thing off. No, they all arrive in their different spots, and then
Yeah.
5 arrives, and he's like,
Yeah, he arrives.
he arrives last.
Yeah, November
which is-
25th, 1963,
Yeah,
and everyone else arrived between 1960 and that date. So I think
exactly.
is Diego the last one who arrives September of 1963?
It goes. The first person to arrive is Klaus. Then it's.
Oh yeah, true, Klaus.
Alice. Or no, that's not her name. Is it Alice?
Allison.
Allison, that's it.
Yeah.
She arrives. Then Luther arrives.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
because it's like
then Ellen Page arrives.
Yeah,
Seven arrives,
Vanya.
and then Diego. Yeah.
Yes.
He only arrives 75 days before 5 does.
Yeah. That was one of the things that I thought was very interesting. I mean, they've already alluded on the show to 5's powers not being the most accurate when he's trying to time travel. That was one of the things I found very interesting because 5 can teleport, but he can also time travel, but he's not very good at time traveling. And the Commission has devices that allow them to time travel. So I was always just like, it's one of those situations where like he doesn't need a device to time travel. So why is he working for the Commission? And that was a whole other thing that I found interesting because I was wondering why even include the Commission. But the Commission is very interesting as I guess villain or another organization that he just has to deal with on the regular.
Yeah, and what I loved was actually Diego's and 5's first interaction.
Yeah,
because 5 goes to find him in the insane asylum because he arrives, he has all his knives out, and he doesn't realize what he's doing, so he obviously gets taken to the insane asylum because he's like, oh, I'm gonna go protect John F. Kennedy from being shot because he arrived only so many days before his death. I'm like, yeah, this guy's a crazy person. And then when 5 arrives, he's like, oh man, like, cool, like, so we're gonna get out of here or whatever, like, they've been keeping me here. And he's like, well, why are they keeping you here? Oh, because I want to
save JFK,
save the president. He's like, oh, well, that can't happen. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go now.
But
and
like,
he's batshit crazy. I freaking love that moment.
And I gotta say, I found that super annoying that his first thought was to completely change the timeline. He knows, as someone who's from the Umbrella Academy, that like doing something like that probably the last thing you should do.
Yeah, but he was determined to do it.
Yeah.
Yo,
and
dude,
he had a plan too afterwards, right? Because like when he's talking, he's like, then I want to take the box and I want to go even further back in time and kill Hitler. And you're like, dude.
Yeah, Diego.
I mean, it's a good idea, but no.
I think one of the things that they make clear in season 1 and a bit of season 2, and without spoiling anything, is that Diego definitely has a hero complex. That Diego sees himself not just as part of the Umbrella Academy, but he actually sees himself as kind of like a Batman.
Yeah, well, Five even says it when someone's talking to him. He's like, "Imagine Batman, but
Yeah.
a little lower."
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just funny. I honestly, I will say this: like him and Diego's interactions, especially compared to the last season, was very, very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
I actually found it weird how each person, the only person who like remained themselves was Klaus. Everyone else like really changed. Like
That's a good point.
Devin completely forgets who she is. You
Yeah,
have
Vanya.
Vanya, that's it.
Yeah.
You have Luther, who's like doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah,
like, when
Luther.
he's like, I need your help. He's like, I don't give a shit, and walks away. I'm like, really?
Luther. One of the things with Luther is, hey, Toby jumped in.
Sneaks.
One of the things with Luther is, and I think they were trying to stay true to the comic book a little bit. I think you might be muted, Toby, just in case. I'm not sure if you're. Yeah. Okay. I think one of the things that they did with Luther was they tried to stay true to something that I saw in one of the other comics, where he decides he doesn't want to care anymore. Like he just wants to bounce out. Yeah. He's kind of just like he seems like he's over the whole superhero thing, and he decides he's gonna bounce. And at the end of the comic that I was reading, because I was trying to understand, because I'm not gonna spoil anything for you, but the last episode ends on a cliffhanger, as a smart Netflix series should, and nods to something that even the comic book hasn't gotten to yet.
Dude.
Yeah.
So everyone else here only saw the first two, right?
Dave has only seen the
nice
first.
to me because I only got to watch the first two.
Yeah, so we're only sticking to.
Since when are we nice to Dave? We should just tell him.
No, we were going
well,
to.
Now that we're four, I could actually walk out and you guys can talk about whatever you want.
No, I just thought I'd drop in. Sorry to butt in on you guys' conversation. I'm back for a day to resupply before going back to the cottage, so I decided I might as well jump in real quick before we're going to do all that. But I heard, Dave, you were saying something about no, not Dave, but Doc. You were saying something when I was watching you guys, by the way.
Yeah.
See, I watched the show and I'm not here. But you were talking about the commission and why they're needed.
Yeah, I get the commission is important as a foil for the Umbrella Academy. It's kind of like it takes this whole organization to try and stop these five. But at the same time, I was just like, if we're being honest, the commission doesn't really. I mean, not to spoil again, but the commission itself doesn't seem like the villain. It's elements in the commission that seem to be causing issues.
Yeah, because they seem like an entity that's always been around to make sure the timeline always stays each timeline is exactly as they should be.
Yeah.
But the reason he joined them and uses the briefcase is because he can't really control his powers in terms of how far forward he jumps or backwards he jumps. Yeah. That's pretty much the main reason he still has to use a briefcase.
And it's funny too. One of the things, and I'm spoiling something, but technically not spoiling it because they discuss it in the first season. He's told not to try and do big jumps. It's the idea of like doing incremental. Seconds. To build up, and that comes back again this time. And I found it weird that at this point, we just lost. Did we lose Devin? Ah, damn.
I'm here.
No.
Oh, sorry, Devin, because your image just disappeared.
I'm here.
Oh, it's my fault, man. I apologize.
It's all good.
But yeah, it's just weird because I was watching it and I was just like, but I don't understand why make that decision to just constantly try and push yourself to the max. Where even, dude, in season 1 you did that and you messed up a calculation and and locked yourself in a child's body. You know what I mean?
Oh, I can't say anything.
No, I know exactly. Yeah, we can't spoil too much.
Damn you, Dave!
I'll leave it.
Yeah, I actually had time while I was away to watch it, so I got pretty far ahead. No, it was overall. I think this was a great season.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised by how I was not really able to predict much.
Yeah,
that's what I find so far.
Yeah. It's like I don't know if it's on purpose. It's so cleverly. Is it like clever on purpose or accidentally clever in that sense? You know what I mean?
the only thing I've been questioning about the group, especially, and I find it funny that I have so many questions by just only really watching like 2 episodes in like 15 minutes or whatever I've watched. Like, I wonder if these guys are actually stuck in a loop. Like, I wonder if the Umbrella Academy itself, it's like they're just fighting before they're supposed to die. Because technically,
can you refresh me before you continue? Can you refresh me on how episode 2 ended? Before
Diego gets stabbed.
It ended with him Diego fighting his dad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So you haven't seen much. But sorry, go ahead. So you're wondering if they're stuck in a loop, yeah?
Which is because, like, even if you don't see much, right? Like, because what happens right away when you start in this season is that he arrives and it's the apocalypse again, and then he's like, "You gotta go back 10 days," and the guy tells him that, "Oh, you have 10 days, just like last time, plenty of time to figure out the problem." And I'm there, like, right away, I'm like, is this show just gonna end up being every season just a new way of them trying not to die?
I like that theory. I like that theory because that's kind of like that theory.
That's like the show Dark, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's exactly what that is.
It's Norse mythology. That's what it's the idea of Ragnarok. It's just a cycle.
Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's actually a lot of mythologies that play on the cycle.
Atlas holds it on his back, the world on his back, and he throws down the thing, and he has to pick it up, and then just
that's two mythologies you're mixing up. Atlas does that was great though. That was great. Atlas,
that wouldn't be a bad idea for its own show.
Yeah, Atlas does have the world on his shoulders that he does pawn off to Hercules at one point. But there's another guy whose punishment in, I guess, I don't know if it's Tartarus or if it's on Earth, but his punishment is to roll a rock up the hill every day and to just watch it. At the end of the day, when he gets to the top of the hill, it just rolls all the way down again.
That's deep.
And then there's actually a dope movie called Triangle that plays off of that, which is really, really good. It's a horror thrill. You would love it, Toby.
Oh, I might look it up. You give me another movie to watch at the cottage.
Oh God, horror! You kids in your horror.
Oh man, what other show were you guys talking about watching?
Devin was about to tell us about War on Cybertron, I think.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of War on Cybertron too, but Devin,
I fell out of Transformers in terms of TV shows a while back.
This show would bring you right back in, man. It was so well done.
Here's your entry. Let me know how.
Yeah, I haven't watched all the episodes, but I have to say what I've seen so far, I do like it.
Well, this is what's really cool about what they did with this one. First, it's only 6 episodes, so it's not like something that's really long right now. And they're short episodes too. They're like 23 minutes an episode or something like that.
Yeah.
But right now, with the focus of this story is literally the war on Cybertron, like taking off on the Ark, landing on Earth and all that, like the build up to that, like the separation, like who ends up staying on Cybertron and who ends up leaving and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of there was actually really intelligent writing put in this series. So, like, they actually put effort. The only thing that kind of bugged me a bit is the guy who was doing Prime's voice kind of had like a Shatner thing going on. He's like, we have to, like the whole delaying thing when he was talking. But besides that, it was freaking cool. So animation's well done.
The story takes place on Cybertron.
On Cybertron, like the war between, like the big war between Autobots and Decepticons.
Okay. Because I know there was another show. Way back when we were kids.
They've done so many. They had Transformers Prime. They've had
the one where they were organic beings.
Beast Machines.
Or Beast War. Yeah.
Beast Wars.
It was called Beast Wars and called Beasties in Canada.
Okay, yeah, and they were like organic. They would. Okay, cool. I actually really like that one as well.
No, Beast Wars was really good. Beast Machines was terrible.
They had some good they had good storylines. They didn't have
no, they killed it, man. I'm sorry, when they did Beast Machines, I thought they they destroyed the whole philosophy of Beast Wars when they did Beast Machines. But anyways, back to War of Cybertron.
Yeah.
They go in a lot of in-depth, like they do a lot of character building. Obviously, they didn't keep to the script like 100% from like the original G1. Like Bumblebee in this one, they didn't make him like some badass killing machine like they've done in the movies. They kept him in his original form.
Yeah.
But he wasn't an Autobot. He was a rogue.
Yeah.
And he was like a scavenger.
Which I thought was really cool. I thought that
actually
was super cool.
Really neat because his whole purpose for living was just to survive, and he didn't choose sides. And I don't know if you saw the episode of Sound Blaster.
Not yet.
Oh my god!
Don't spoil anything, but no, I've only seen.
That was a big one I wanted to bring out, but
yeah, I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
Oh man, when they introduced Sound Blaster, pure genius. But yeah, so they didn't keep to the original script of the characters, but they kept enough for like even like the old school diehards like myself.
Yeah.
Like saying, oh, like nitpickers. Well, I'm not totally a nitpicker, but they're like, it still worked really well. There was not. They didn't do so much changes to make someone say, "Oh, it's not should be like this," and that's like, "Oh, wait, no, I actually like that concept. I like how they did this little twist in that." But by seeing this show, because they're already talking about doing season 2, because the first season ended with them. Can I say it or
no? Don't spoil the ending.
No, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Cliffhanger or not cliffhanger is the only thing you can really say.
It's a cliffhanger, but we kind of know where they end up.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm imagining that they're gonna try and move it to Earth, like they do. Like this war on Cybertron is essentially should be the story of what leads to the original cartoon that we watch.
Okay,
exactly. This is what leads up to G1.
Before Earth. Okay.
This is what leads up to G1, which I think they're already talking about second season. But there was a lot of in-depth, like you saw, like the devastation of Cybertron, the ruins, and they talked about like how. Like when they introduced Jetfire, he's a Decepticon, like he was supposed to be. He wasn't an Autobot, and it was just really, really cool. And by seeing that, what I'm actually really hoping they would do, like the creators of this show, I'm actually hoping they would make a prequel to the War of Cybertron, like make a series based on the rise of Alpha Trion.
Yeah, because they talk about him so much in.
Oh, he was brought up so much in this series.
Yeah, every 2 seconds in the first 2 episodes, they keep like Optimus keeps talking about you've betrayed Alpha Trion's legacy, Megatron, and it's just like
exactly.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about that for the 50th
really cool
time.
Is you saw like in the Decepticon side, they really showed like they weren't evil per se. They were like it was an uprising from like. They were like the quote unquote like slave laborers of Cybertron, and it all started with like an uprising and all that. I would love to see a prequel.
Starts that way.
But I would
love to see.
I'm happy that you said that because that makes me think I have. So that leads directly into what I'm going to talk about, which is the Slade Wilson's Deathstroke Knights and Dragons. Because I'm tired of the whole like sympathy for the devil story that they keep throwing at us. Like what? Because they were the slave laborers, it's okay that Megatron is one of the worst characters ever. That he's okay with murdering people constantly and doesn't give a crap.
In the show, they showed him that he wasn't okay. They did point out he was a total psycho.
Yeah, because the original cartoon, he's
no,
in the original. He's crazy. He wants to kill everyone. He doesn't care about anybody. But
and he's even crazier. He's even crazier in Cybertron, man.
So he used the movement to sort of like feed his sort of
and
behavior.
He went. Okay. You saw how evil he becomes, and like it's more towards in the later episodes of the season where you really see the pure evil of him come out, like to the point where that's where you're seeing like. Some of the Decepticons that we know that ended up on Team Autobot, when they start like saying he's out of his fucking mind, we got to get out of here. No, it was really, really well done.
I'm actually curious now. I actually kind of want to see this.
Dude. Show, I've watched the first 2 episodes.
I put it on my reminder list, Dave.
Yeah. That's right, Dave.
To watch it.
Yeah, because
Dave, watch it when it came out.
We're trying to remind Dave that Netflix has an option called Reminder. So if you see a preview for something, guess what, guys? You can press the reminder button. What a novel concept.
But honestly, we've seen a lot of Transformers like stories and movies based on like the Cybertron War and also
Yeah.
the War on Earth.
There was
I
a
think
game
it's
too,
time
no?
we finally have, because they also talked a lot about how Cybertron used to be a place of culture. It had like music and arts and theater.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine I'm trying to picture like a theater being produced by like a bunch of robots and stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool.
The robots are talking. Yeah, no, I mean, I watch it and I was just like, so I'm a huge Transformers fan, as you guys know. You see the Transformers behind me. I've always loved Transformers. It's always been one of my favorite. I did have some genuine concerns when I was watching it because I was just like, this doesn't make sense to me at first. Mostly because I'm not used to the idea of them trying to rewrite Bumblebee every 2 seconds. That seems like a weird thing to me.
Yeah.
Every version
It took me
needs
a little while to adapt back to.
Yeah, every time they're doing this, they really need to make Bumblebee a different character now. And I don't truly understand why Bumblebee has become the focus, other than they made the movie and made him a lovable character. So that's
I was gonna say, I was literally about to say it's the movies that ruined it.
Yeah. The Bayverse has set a tone that everyone else kind of has to follow. The Bayverse, decided that they had to call it the Allspark because the Matrix movies were there and they didn't want to call it the Matrix of Power. So now it's the Allspark everywhere. The Bayverse decided to make Bumblebee this mute, cute little character, a Camaro.
I hate the fact that he's mute. By the way, is it just me?
Yeah, I find that
No,
so
I agree.
stupid. It's
so stupid.
Like, oh, they can't.
Anyway.
And I had the.
I'm gonna tune into a radio station so I can talk to you.
But like the thing that drives me crazy is they wrote a book that's a prequel to that movie, and I own that book and I read it, and they explain why he can't speak. And then they did this other prequel movie that erases that book.
They explained it in that prequel movie.
Yeah, so they erased their own book, and I'm mad because I want my money back. I bought a book because I thought the book was supposed to be important, and you guys erased it because people didn't like what the That's man, that's not fair.
Yeah, it's true. Did the movie, I guess, take over canon?
Yeah, the movie erases the canon of all the other stuff.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I hate that they keep doing that.
That's unfortunate.
But yeah, that's one of the things. As I was saying, this whole thing of sympathy for the devil. Like, oh, they were the working class, so it makes sense that they might have revolted and fought back. Okay, I guess. And I mean, that makes sense. If you're abusing
it's
people.
The same thing with the Brotherhood, right? I get their motives, but I don't necessarily agree with Magneto's actions. Yeah. Right?
One thing I failed to mention, too, is when they were talking about the uprising, it wasn't like Decepticons only. There was also it was a mixture of Autobots and Decepticons who uprised. It was a combination of both groups. But then that faction split in half because Crazy took over.
Yeah, it's not too dissimilar from our reality.
No, it was a little real. I have to admit, it was pretty real. But
yeah,
it was still a good season though.
Okay,
I do recommend it.
Dope, man.
That's on my list now.
Okay.
I got Deathstroke Knights and Dragons. And as you guys heard me say, I am not for sympathy for the devil, so I'll tell you right now, it's a fun watch for the action, but know this, these are bad writers that are trying to write a really pretty story for a demonic person. And
so they're trying to make Deathstroke look good, or
yes, in like the most annoying way. Deathstroke cares about his family. Deathstroke cares about people. Deathstroke wants to save the world. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, man. Watching it made me so mad because I was just like, who are you guys?
What's funny about this? This is supposed to be like a prequel, how he grew up, whatever. Right?
No, not even. It's Deathstroke being Deathstroke. What? It's not even him right at the beginning. He's been doing it for 10 years by the time
Wait, hold on. Is this sanctioned by DC?
It's a CW Seed series. You know how the CW Seed does those like
series or a movie? I heard it was a movie.
It's a series first. You know how they do the CW Seed series where it's like 10-minute episodes and they give you like 13 10-minute episodes?
Oh, it's like
and then Constantine, yeah. Yeah, so then they released it as a movie. So all the episodes combined equal this hour and 27-minute movie that I watched. And I'll tell you right now, I watched the first 2 episodes when they originally came out and then rewatched this whole thing now. The only thing that's worth watching is watching for the fight scenes and watching, like Bronze Tiger versus Slade, dope. Slade versus Lady Shiva, Lady Shiva, dope fight. Slade versus whatchamacallit. Slade's wife Addie versus Jaguar at the beginning of the movie, even though she gets her ass handed to her, good fight. Like she doesn't, dude, at one point she says, if you thought this was going to be easy, you came to the wrong house, and then like jumps down and starts kicking his ass. And I'm like, yeah, because like, usually you see these villains walk into people's houses, none of them can handle themselves, and they just get whooped and knocked all over the place. She didn't necessarily do the most damage, but she was willing to fight back, and she went into full mama bear mode and was just like, you're not taking my child. And that was dope to watch. But like all this stuff with like, Ravager's there, but she's like still sane, and Slade's never done anything to her. And dude, I mean, no, I shouldn't spoil it. But anyways, if you guys want to watch a story that is completely absent of the origin of a character, watch this, because this is
I'm watching the trailer now as we're speaking. Actually,
it has nothing to do with who Slade Wilson is as a character in the comic book. They are trying to redeem him for some odd reason. I don't know why. He is not a good person. He's a mercenary who goes around killing people. Dude, this isn't even a spoiler. First fight in the movie, he bullies his way into a general's stronghold. He goes to the general, and the general is just like, oh, the president sent you. And he's just like, yes, the president doesn't necessarily like a coup. And they have this stupid exchange. And then Slade's just like, but I bring this. And he pulls a bag, and the president's head is in the bag. And the general's just like, what? Like, if the president sent you, why did you bring me his head? And he's just like, the president was a monster. He mistreated the people. He was living a fat life. I'm like, who cares? You're not this guy. You're not this. Why are you doing this? Like, I was watching
You did a good thing, but you're not this guy.
Yeah, but dude, I watched that scene and I was just like, in my head, I was like, okay, what's the trick? What's he going to do? Is he going to rob
the episode?
Nothing. He doesn't do anything.
So
he just tells the guy, you have to do better or I come back. And then the guy turns around and still tries to kill him. He calls his soldiers in to shoot at him. Slade kills the soldiers, looks at the guy and says, there's still the thing about my payment. And the guy's just like, I'm happy to pay it. And that's the scene. And I'm like, so let me get this straight.
You're going to pay him after all this?
So what, he's Deadpool now?
Right? That's what I'm saying, though. It's that mentality. It's that approach of like, oh, I'm kind of crazy, but I'm kind of still a good guy. I murder everybody, but I do it for the right reasons. No, Slade, off like
I'm
that.
Just watching a trailer and it says, "Never give a paid killer a reason to work for free."
Oh,
that is.
God.
The animation doesn't look very good though. I'm not gonna lie.
The animation is the usual stuff that they've been doing on CW Seed, so I can't really be mad at that.
Okay.
There's one thing that's
it doesn't look like those DC AU.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
No, it's a little cheaper. There's like a texture to the animation that I found weird. I was like, why is there a texture to like over? It's almost like they did the animation and then put like a plastic over it.
It's like Ultimate Spider-Man mixed with Archer.
Yeah,
like that's the best way I can describe it. It's not, yeah, like the animation in the foreground almost has like a cutout look.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
But that's it, So I'm telling people, like, and we've talked about this on That's Canon. We did the episode where we talked about White Knight, the Joker story, that's a good way to do a sympathy for the devil story, because in the end, he's still the devil. You realize that he's still a broken person. But there is no moment where they make it seem like Slade is actually, or he's evil, but he's evil for what he thinks are the right reasons. And at no point do they make it known that he's actually doing the wrong thing. Like you said, that the tagline, there's a scene in it where like these guys kidnapped a group of girls, and that's when he says something. He's just like, I would have done this one for free. And he goes in and he kills everybody and he saves the girls. And I'm just like, Slade cared about slave labor? Like, what are you talking? He's not this guy.
Yeah, no, and what he would have done is gone to the other side and be like, hey, I'll free these people for a fee, or like, you know, like he would have done something for himself. There's been no redeemable quality. His own freaking kids, bro.
Dude,
this guy doesn't care about.
He took Rose's eye. He took Rose's eye.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But he doesn't do that in this one. In this one, he loves Rose.
He gives her an eye.
It's like, Rose. He's all like he cares about Rose, and I'm like I remember the scene where they show him caring about Rose, and I'm like, okay, they've lost me. This is everything. And at first I started watching it, and I watched it at regular speed, and as it progressed, I sped it up to 1.5 because I was like, I just want to watch this to watch this. I don't want to, because I was so mad at what they were doing. I was like, you're not getting regular speed from me today.
How would you compare the Slade Wilson to that compared to the Slade Wilson in the Arrowverse?
What's it, Manu's version?
Yeah.
I mean,
in Arrow.
Because doesn't he end up like working with them and like?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like this good guy approach too. I'm starting to. I feel like they started kind of like copied it from that because they kind of made him like this.
No.
Eventually.
Because that version was still a evil person to begin with, and tries.
He started off really evil, yes.
Yeah, and he tries to become. This one is Slade is a soldier. He gets the drugs. He goes out and becomes a mercenary because the military didn't realize the drug they gave him worked. So he's just like, well, I don't have to serve the military anymore. I'll just do this on the DL. No one will know. Hey, Wintergreen, you want to work with me? Sure, let's go save the world. And him and Wintergreen lock arms and skip together as they save all the little children. And you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Meanwhile, the one in your universe still had the Rose who was crazy. Like, he still did a lot of nasty stuff. This one, he really thinks he's a hero. He really thinks...
This is not canon, though.
No, I hope not.
Because it's a DC original. It's labeled under DC original, and I think DC originals aren't canon.
Oh, is it? Okay, because when I looked it up, it said CW Seed, so I was just like, okay.
Okay.
I assume anything from CW Seed is just a bunch of doo-doo.
A one-off.
Yeah, I mean,
I would hope this never be. I don't like that. I agree with you. I don't like when you try to change the evil in a character by trying to sell them as someone else versus telling an original story about another villain.
Yeah,
right.
Like Venom. Venom's a fun movie, but do I want Venom to be a hero? No, I want Venom to be the guy who eats people. Just because you have an
anti-hero.
Venom is the hero, but he just also eats people.
No, but
he's an anti-hero.
But that's now. I want don't give me movies of Venom now. I want OG Venom first. Give me the monster.
Yeah, so wouldn't you have a problem with the Venom movie then? Because Venom movie was kind of like that, right?
Yeah, I do. I like the Venom movie, but I'm also I am annoyed that that's the version we got.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna.
it makes, but that version makes sense considering the kind of person he was.
Yes.
Right?
And they couldn't have Spider-Man, so they're like, well, we can't make him a villain. We can't just do a movie about a murdering monster. You can. You could have made Venom a horror. You could have made Venom a horror movie.
It would have been amazing.
Dude.
Making that like a horror flick.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't rated R eventually,
no.
Right? They brought it down. Yeah, that's
if you.
That's a really good idea, though, that they should have made it rated. They should have made it a horror film. You're right.
Yo, if you made. I don't like.
Series start writing for them.
Guys, I don't like horror, and I would have seen a Venom horror movie. I would have.
Of course, you want to see a New Mutants horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. I would watch it.
No one wants to see it. It's never coming to pass. I'm telling you.
No, it's coming out.
It's
coming out.
Do you want to stay for geek news? I know Dave wanted to talk about something, but we because we only have 15 minutes left, and we have quite a bit of geek news.
Yeah, that's cool.
I could do a few more minutes.
Okay. So kids, we're gonna be jumping into it right now, right here. Geek news and rumors. This one I wanted to do first. Toby, you gotta tell me what you think. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is buying the XFL with partners. So little title.
With partners.
With partners.
Ex-wife's their company.
Yeah.
Oh, $7
or whatever.
Guys.
Okay.
I find it hilarious how much
Okay.
she's buying it for.
A couple of
Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
15 million?
That is crazy. That is
You know
crazy.
how much Vince McMahon put in this company?
That is
That's
rude.
crazy.
Dude,
Like,
that's
Vince
crazy.
McMahon
That's-
put like hundreds of millions in this.
Do you
He bought it for
realize-
15.
Do you realize that some of the athletes in the professional leagues get paid like could have bought the league themselves and left? They could have
They
bought
had
themselves an entire league.
With a year's salary.
Yes, that
Yeah,
is
no
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy deal. I think if there's anyone that could possibly make this work and draw an audience, it's
Yeah.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Because
I
of
think
the
so,
sort of outlandish Titans, WWE football
don't forget
feel
ballers.
to it. Ballers,
Yeah.
right? This is real life
It was all
ballers
about
right
ballers,
here.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel what really happened for this one is I don't think necessarily Vince McMahon was doing anything wrong. I just think he made his investment, but then because of COVID,
Yeah.
Oh, it was
had to
blowing
get
up
rid of
again.
it.
By the way,
Yeah,
The
people were
XFL
excited.
was doing really well before COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were excited.
Like it was doing really, really well. Then COVID happened, so everything had to stop. And it's just a matter of like, well, now we can't do anything, so we have to
It's
close
just
up shop. This is a
bad-
failure. And like Rock
it's
is
just
like,
bad luck.
but I
I'll
It's
take
legit
all the
just bad luck.
contracts.
Like
and I'll just wait.
but I don't understand something.
Imagine trying to start a business and both times just
Yeah.
the economy was not having it, even though it's a really good idea, and you know it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
You know that must hurt just a little.
Well,
I
because
got a
why-
great
why-
idea.
why
Let's
did
get
it
a
go
bunch of
down the
guys in
last time?
football gear who don't know how to play football and make them play football.
And dramatize it. Just
Dramatize it. Let's do it.
He's
Hey,
got
man,
the
but
WWE formula.
When
man.
when
If
they
you
did
can
it
clothesline and suplex people.
when they
shit,
did it
let's
the
go for
first run, when they did it the first run, they did so well with some of the action shots that the NFL brought a whole bunch of that stuff over.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the camera
So
work
Very
and stuff.
innovative in how they filmed it.
Mics in the helmets.
Yeah, that's all XFL
Dude.
stuff. So
That was XFL.
yeah, I mean that's
That's
impressive.
that's why I don't feel bad that Vince McMahon lost it.
but I
I
don't.
just think it sucks.
One
that
thing I don't
had to go
understand
down.
is how like if The Rock could buy it for 15 million, and Vince and everyone else he had on his side were invested and lost tons of money, why not keep it and just try and bring it back up? Like it went
You gotta
bankrupt.
know what you gotta know when to cut it loose, bro.
I
They've
think
already
Vince
sunk-
right
they've
now.
They've
No
sunk
one
way
told
more
them.
into it. They've sunk way more into it than I think they probably reached their limit.
Yeah.
I
It
also
happens,
think
man.
Vince right now is slowly trying to retire from everything. I've been reading a lot of posts and rumors about who's next in line to take over WWE.
Isn't it Stephanie?
It was between. Well, I don't know. They said it was Triple H.
Which was
Now
Stephanie.
there's, Shane, they just brought Shane back again yesterday, this week on Raw. So he just made an appearance again. He's been MIA for the past like 6 months.
Yeah, but he's not going to give it to Shane. He doesn't even respect
No, it's
Shane.
definitely not going to Shane. But
He
I
doesn't
think 'cause
respect his son.
creative control of NXT right now is all through Paul Levesque at Triple H.
Yeah.
And NXT's ratings are much higher than any Raw or SmackDown. And if he was smart, he'd probably he would give creative control to Triple H.
Yeah,
For
but
Raw and SmackDown.
you can't take the business away from your family.
Yeah, he's when you're saying
He's married in them.
But yeah, but
married
when,
to
no, for sure, but he's
when-
not blood.
yeah, when you're saying Triple H, I'm just hearing Stephanie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I'm not hearing like he might let Triple H do the stories and like
Exactly.
control that side, but Stephanie is gonna be the McMahon in the
Yeah.
She's got the
Well,
gavel.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
the game and she plays the game.
yeah. There you go. Oh Lord,
Heyo.
Lord have
Oh,
But can you ever really play the game though? You know what I mean?
let's get Stephanie on the phone and
No,
ask.
it's gonna be simple. For
Stephanie
them,
McMahon
she'll-
on the
she'll
line.
be CEO,
Stephanie?
and then he'll be president. That's all.
Yeah, I guess. There you go.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. Well, congrats to The Rock, man.
yeah.
That's huge.
You bought
Hopefully-
yourself a
hopefully-
league, not even a team. This man bought a
league.
league.
League for 50 million.
God
That's
damn.
Like You know what was fun when it was taping ballers. I want to do that again.
You know who has a league? I wonder how much it cost Ice Cube to start up the 3-on-3
I know, yeah,
league.
Big Three. Big Three signed a deal with CBS right before the pandemic. So like these smaller leagues are making moves. Like
yeah, they will be the next thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
it's about time the big sports leagues got undercut, and there's just so many issues.
Yeah,
it's about time.
What else do we got? Warren Ellis has completed work on the upcoming season of Castlevania, but he will not be back for future. We were speaking about Comic Gate before. Ellis, one of the people that's being asked to just move aside, buddy. Just get out of here. They don't want you. You're not. It's the old guard. There's like a nature of old guard in the comic book industry that just step down, move on. It's not the way it used to be. People are speaking up. They're seeing that they can have their pride and their self-respect and not have to kowtow to people who have strength. Because that's the other thing. I was reading articles recently about the comic book industry, and it's a game of freelance and gatekeepers.
For sure.
And the gatekeepers unfortunately abusing their power in some cases. And like it's crazy because all the freelancers are saying like it's not everyone. There's a lot of amazing, wonderful people in comic books, but then there's just some people who are just running amok, being the most disgusting and disrespectful people and trying all the nastiest things to abuse their power. And I don't see, like, I know power corrupts, but God, for God's sakes, it's comic book, guys. You're writing.
I wonder. Like, are they talking anonymously, or is this like vocal? Are they vocal about?
Oh
this?
no, people are being vocal now. Like there's a movement that's like the old guard was being disrespectful. They were being cruel to people of color, women. There was like a whole like underbelly of disrespect in the industry, and that needs to be pushed out. And I think that's what's happening. And it sucks that these people were even there in the first place, but it was a boys' club.
I think it would be interesting. It would be interesting to actually like talk to people in that, like in that industry specifically.
Yeah,
and really get there.
I can. Yeah. I mean, I there's a few people that I can reach out to that I'd love. We can try and get them on the show and have that discussion and what their thoughts are.
I have one. I think I had him at us recently. Adam Gorham.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's a cartoonist. He's done a bunch. He's really good, actually.
Dope. Yeah,
probably get you guys Richard Comely.
Oh yeah,
dude, we should have a panel then.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Let's do it.
But I think that bye, and Netflix's Castlevania will move on, and it'll be dope.
But that, just out of curiosity, not to like get away from that point, but it's it's season 3 that.
Whatever the last season is he worked on, but he's not coming back for future seasons. One of the things I wanted to Toby, since you're here, new Marvel Avengers game will have featured Spider-Man exclusive on the PS version. So people are really pissed.
I guess Spider-Man is pretty
Sony.
PS4
so
exclusive.
There's a lot of people who are really upset about this. I'm not a gamer. You guys are more into the gaming, so I wanted to ask you guys. Is it that big of a this is something that's been done regularly. Why are people so upset about this one over previous times that exclusivity has been put in? Like, I don't get.
Because if there was ever a chance, the Marvel game is going to be on all platforms. If there was ever a chance for all those guys to finally get their hands on Spider-Man, this was it. And the fact that they're not getting it makes them a little angry, and I understand that. But this just means get off your shitty platforms and come to PlayStation.
That might have to be the title. That might
That's it, man. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm actually pumped for this one. The last Spider-Man game was really good. The only thing is that it's not the faces of the actors, right? Which, is that an issue? Do you think that's a problem?
I think my issue with it is the fact that they're trying too hard to almost be. Like,
if
that
you're gonna change it.
Yeah. Like, know that picture of the almost friends, that meme that was going around where it's just like, this guy kind of looks like Chandler, kind of looks like Joey, and they're like almost friends. This looks like almost Marvel Avengers. Like, every time I look at them, like,
wow. See, that's the thing, right? So much so that it looks way more like a knockoff than if you change the characters completely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, game quality is the only thing that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it looks good from the trailers I've seen. So.
the one thing I don't like, I won't lie, I've never liked that that a system has character exclusives. I always thought it should have been, if you buy the game, you get this character. Like example, let's say Xbox would get Wolverine. I'm just making that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get PlayStation, you automatically get Spider-Man, but you'd have to buy Wolverine. That's how I find it should be.
Why?
And if you're on Xbox, you get Wolverine right away, but you'd have to buy Spider-Man as DLC content.
Yeah,
Okay.
but here's the thing with the properties, right? Sony owns Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They can
But-
do it
No, I
with
get
Spider-Man as they please.
Yeah, but I see what Dave's saying, though. I understand because there's profit to be made. Like, Dave's not wrong. If you're playing the game and you're trying to make as much money as possible, you tell people, if you have a PlayStation, bong, homie, you get the character. But then you broker a deal with Square Enix, and Sony brokers a deal so that they're like, okay, we'll let you put Spider-Man in the Xbox and the PC version, but we get a cut from the DLC of that when Spider gets. That's money. Why would you not do that?
Because
That's
you already
money.
know they're going to
People
pimp
will
out
pay
their
for it.
PlayStation too, right? They're going to come out with an exclusive PS for
Yeah.
the Avengers and all that. So they're already going to be making
Hey,
mad
man.
money. It's just good-
PS5 is coming out just now. This
Yeah,
is their
it's gonna
ultimate
have, like, the
stomp out
Avengers, like, stuff all over.
Microsoft move.
Do you think people care that much about this game specifically that they'd be like, I really want to play Spider-Man that bad, I'm willing to get a PS? Because at that point, get the PS and play the other Spider-Man game.
You know,
Yes,
if you'd
because
asked
he's
me,
too
if you'd asked me in mid of February, I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
But people have nothing else to care about. So it's
That's fair.
I think it's also the fact that
adds
he's
to
too
it.
different of a character. Like play as a
That's
playable character, he's too different. By web slinging versus
He's
walking,
so dynamic.
flying,
Yeah.
it's different. Now, let's say it was somebody else. Like you get to be a
Iron
rogue
Man.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Who cares? Because the things that you're doing, other characters can do. But by being Spider-Man, it's completely different.
I mean,
Spider-Man uses environment a lot more than others.
Yeah.
It just adds a different dynamic as a character.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much they're gonna change it when, because having Spider-Man is a completely different gameplay. Like the mechanics for Spider-Man versus everyone else you can play with is so different. I don't see, aren't you essentially building a whole other version of how he interacts with the surroundings?
Yeah.
Just for
so
the-
with every game they do change, depends on what they need him for, or depends on what kind of game it is. Like we've had those Street Fighter versus Marvel games where he only moves from side to side, right? It just depends on the actual kind of gameplay. And I think these are going to be like, what's it called? Not to compare it to those 2D games, but like Contra, how you have those levels where you need a certain character to complete it.
Okay.
So he's not you probably can't use Spider-Man for the whole game or Black Widow for the whole game, but certain portions of the game requires a certain
That's the
character
thing,
to
right?
complete
Okay,
it.
so it's like Marvel's Lego's Marvel's Avengers, where you
That's
could
what I'm
use
assuming.
you could use Spider-Man or Mr. Fantastic for certain things because Spider-Man could use the web or Mr. Fantastic could stretch and grab it.
I love those Lego games.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, they're actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because you're right, it would take a whole different sort of game logic to
Yeah.
get him to maneuver the way he's used to maneuvering in his own games, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about him like he's a real person.
I mean, he is, guys. Spider-Man's a real person to us.
He's in all of us.
Yeah. What else we got? Mulan dropping on. Oh, yeah. This is one that I feel like Toby, you wanted to. Mulan dropping on Disney Plus VOD for $30. But is
30 is.
You have to buy Disney Plus and pay $30 to see this movie?
yes,
Of course, dude. What do you mean?
yes.
Yeah, that's what do you mean? How
Well,
else do you get it?
but
So
di-
my question to you is this:
I would like.
Yeah.
Okay.
you have all these free movies on. Well, sorry, you rent the streaming service, right?
You
Where
pay-
have
yes,
a bunch
you
of free
subscribe.
movies already.
You subscribe to
Why
the
That's the
streaming
draw.
service.
did you not wait until this finally became one of the free movies?
It won't.
Yeah, they're gonna. They're
Not for another like.
3 months. or
Yeah,
something?
not for another. Yeah, like a while,
Yeah.
year maybe even. Who knows?
I
Yeah.
would wait a year. I don't give a crap.
Yeah, okay, but
Come
okay,
on.
let's rewind. Hold on. Let's say it's not Mulan. As much as the CEO said he's not doing it with Black Widow, let's say it's Black Widow.
I would
And-
wait a year.
No,
I have to agree with Dave.
fine. Let's say it's a movie. Let's say it's a
Yeah.
movie you actually want to
If
see.
it was like Affinity
Okay,
Wars,
guys.
maybe not.
Okay,
Like,
yes.
How much is a movie ticket right now? that you
I know,
guys pay for?
right?
Not
I don't know
TP
what these guys are
Tuesday,
talking about.
But
Just
this
IMAX.
Canadian is
Hold on.
$45.
No, IMAX.
Yes, thank you.
Is what?
How much is an
I don't
IMAX?
stop putting in any
$18?
IMAX theaters.
And now you're
Well,
asking to pay 45?
You're
From my home?
practically paying 40% more to have it almost immediately in the comfort of
Yes.
your own home.
I don't want it in the comfort of my own
No,
home,
well,
though.
rewind.
Well,
Toby, hold on, Toby.
It's either that or nothing.
Toby, hold on. Dave, Avengers Endgame. Instead of coming out when it came out, a pandemic hits. None of us can see it. We've been waiting for the final movie this entire time. The theaters are all shut down. We're now told, guys, we want you guys to see this movie. $30 Disney Plus. You're telling me you're gonna wait a year?
Stop it, bro.
Okay, here.
Stop it. No,
I'll
answer the question.
I'll
Answer,
I'll
yeah.
answer honestly.
Yeah.
Endgame, no. I
What?
would pay
Okay,
for
that's it. That's it. No.
However, hold on.
Because
I would pay
this.
for Endgame.
No.
But
No.
let's imagine this though.
No.
Let's say-
I just needed you to understand why someone would do it. No, but Dave,
Yeah.
Dave.
What's the scenario?
Dave, I'm not.
What if though? What
No,
if
no, no,
this
no,
was
Dave.
like the start and not the end. I would wait. If this
Okay.
was Iron
Not
Man,
the- not the point. Not the point. Not the point. The point is, if there was a property you cared about enough, would you pay? The answer is yes. That's all Disney needs to know.
Yeah.
They just need to know.
And I'm sorry, I feel like-
No, Dave, it doesn't matter.
Bro.
It's a movie you want to see. It's a property you want to see. It doesn't matter to them.
No, but here's where your logic fails, though, Dave. If you're willing to wait a year, if you're willing to wait a year for Black Widow, what's after Black Widow? The Eternals.
Yes.
What's after the Eternals?
Okay.
You're gonna miss out on
Everything gets
freaking
delayed.
No, I'm just starting
It's-
late compared to everyone else.
Get the hell, dude! It's
Okay.
gonna be all over the place.
But that's what I'm saying.
There's no way,
Toby, that's what I'm saying.
You want
Did-
like $50 for a movie?
Dude, Dave, the point.
It won't be. It won't be
more-
50. It won't. It won't be. It won't be. It won't be 50 here. It won't be 50 Canadian. It won't be 50 Canadian.
Yeah.
Bro. It's gonna be relative to your location. Trust
Yeah.
me.
No, but all I'm saying is that $30 is more than if I went to go out and buy a Disney movie
On
now at a
Blu-ray,
store,
like
it would-
2 months
No,
later. or
that's
something
how
like
much
that.
a movie costs when they first come out. They're $30.
But then you could easily wait a month or so and then go to the store and buy it for cheaper than $30.
But
But-
what
I
if
just find the
you?
price ridiculous.
But you weren't willing
You're
to
already
wait for
paying
End.
the subscription.
But again, you weren't willing to wait for Endgame.
I would have waited for Endgame anyway.
You would have waited. You're telling me you would have waited for Endgame. Okay, you are
You're
bullshitting
crazy.
right now.
You're crazy, bro.
I am stir crazy in my house. I'm cabin fever.
I personally feel like $30 is a lot. We talked about this last
Yeah.
episode. Literally,
Yes.
that's why we always feel like they listen to us. 'Cause
Seriously.
it's always follows a conversation.
Because
But
I said
we-
$30.
You said 30, right?
Yeah,
off the
I
bat.
did. Yeah.
I said 20,
Yes.
1999.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Cindy said 25.
Yeah.
So we were hovering that general
Yeah.
vicinity. I didn't expect 30. I actually thought maybe they'd go 25.
The reason I
Um,
said 30 is because in my head, if I'm Disney, if people are willing to pay 25, which is what I'm expecting, I can
I'll
get a
push it.
little bit. Yeah, exactly. Can I push it to 30? Can I? Yeah. Okay. Let's make it 30 and make the extra $5 per head. And that's
Can't
what.
fault them, man.
No.
Fault the current situation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and if it
Don't fault
backfires
them,
on them, it
buddy.
backfires. They'll bring the price down based on
Yes.
reaction.
Yes.
So if
I
people really do
love-
have a problem
I love
with
that
it,
there's
they'll
a
bring
Disney
it down.
says that this isn't going to be the norm. It's full of shit.
Well, you
30
wanna
is
hope,
way
you
too
wanna
high,
have
I'm
you wanna
sorry.
have hope.
30 is too high.
Yeah, but okay. Here's the thing: in any negotiation where you want more money, are you not going to actually say, "Hey, I'm coming
Exactly.
in hot"?
Yeah.
They're gonna
Of
cut.
course.
They don't want to. You don't want to lowball right up.
Always
the
go
bat.
for top dollar. That's
Exactly.
That's the business
That's
way.
it. Yeah,
But that's
what I would
guys. Disney is a business. That's all.
Precisely. This
I
is
like that you
exactly
say
it.
go the business way. It's like, yes, Disney's a business. That's the point. They know they
That's
have
right.
the product. Guys, Disney is dealing out movies like crack cocaine, and we are all addicts. That's what it is. That is what it is.
See that? See that?
What is our-
I'm feeding, man.
I'm drinking their Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah, I would definitely. 30 is steep. I still stand by that. If they bring it down to 25 or less, I'm definitely doing it. At 25.
Okay.
U.S.
And okay. Oh! And here's the thing, boys. Here's the thing. It's $30, but normally you would go and pay that with you and your partner.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's $30 for a household now.
Yes.
That's something you're not factoring in.
That's not fair. So you're
Dave.
So you're like,
Actually,
hey, Dave,
Thank you.
Dave,
Whoa, stop. Devin, guys, Devin,
let go on dates.
let Devin
Toby,
take
right?
this one
because I have 2 kids at home.
Exactly.
So me going to the theaters we're
It's
4.
cheap for you now, right?
For me, that's actually a savings.
Thank you.
Boom! There you go. I knew something would come after a while of discussing this.
There we go.
This is why it costs $30.
Thank you.
It's a single household. There you go.
$30. So
And for
us,
all
it's worth it at 30 because for me to bring to a theater, we're looking at like 60-something bucks easily.
That's
That's
it.
exactly.
Dude, you know what you can do now? You can legit buy it, have your kids and their friends over, and now you have a party of 60 people watching a $30
and charge them all $5 a head when
Oh
they
my
come
God.
in.
And make sure they bring popcorn. Duh. They bring their own
It's
popcorn.
BYO everything.
BYOP, son.
But yeah, guys,
From my house, $5.
that's the thing.
Yeah,
But-
Dave, trust me, Dave. This is it. If you go on dates, this is a savings for you, brother.
You know, I'm gonna start a new business venture with this now. Charge people to come over. I'll rent all these movies.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
Hey.
the other thing is people are going to be sharing the accounts. So you pay $30.
Dude,
$30 usually gives you what 24 to 48 hours to watch the movie.
I think it's 48 to 72. I mean, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
So
it's not just 24.
So
You
you know.
don't even get it for the month. That's rough.
Oh, Jesus.
No, you ever
I'm sorry.
ordered POV or,
Thank you.
or VOD?
No,
Sorry,
like,
not
no,
POV.
Do you-
You ever ordered point of view?
Dave, do you order pay-per-view? Have you ever ordered a pay-per-view, Dave?
Like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And how much
but
did the
do you have
pay-per-view
it for
cost
a
you?
month?
But yeah, but it was for like a specific event, like UFC or something. That's
Wait,
different.
Okay,
didn't
that's
you
why I
just
said
watch-
that's why I said VOD.
Yeah,
'Cause
didn't
VOD,
you just
still
watch-
have it for like 3 days?
Well,
Didn't
no,
you
because
just
back in
watch
the day
something
when
from
you had pay-per-view,
WrestleMania?
If you were to rent a movie off of that, you'd have it for either a week or a month back in.
No,
Way back
Sorry,
I
no,
actually
man,
bought it.
never.
no,
never.
dude.
I want to
No,
live
I
in
used to rent
Dave's
pay-per-views
house.
all the time
Yeah.
back in the day.
Dave's
Dave,
house.
I think
That was the
see,
thing my dad
Dave-
had the illegal box. So I might
Yeah,
keep talking
okay,
about it.
thank you.
this confirms to me now after all those conversations we've had. I've been investigating you, Dave. This confirms to me you're from a different timeline. And you've infiltrated ours.
Yes.
From an
played,
alternate
Well
universe.
played, bro.
I love it.
Oh my god.
I love
I'm
it.
definitely not from the
Oh my God! Shout outs to Lee J, who's been just dropping comments on the YouTube.
Oh my gosh, what's DJ saying?
He's just talking about all the stuff we were talking about. AEW,
okay.
XFL's gonna flourish under the Rock. He's Team Sony. I respect it, and I
Yes,
appreciate all this stuff. And yeah, man, Dave. At the end of the day, dude, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand. There's a lot of people who don't like the idea that you pay for a subscription and then you have to pay more. But at the same time, that's the same thing that Amazon's been doing this whole time. Amazon
Everyone
Prime.
And I'm not
everyone's been
saying
doing
they're
this.
better, bro.
No, I know. I'm just saying Disney is following a model that's been working and other people have been making money off of. And Disney's not going to look at this situation where they can't. And also, they are releasing the movie theatrically in other cities. They just can't do it. And Netflix has been doing that. Netflix has been buying movies in North America and then buying North American releases and releasing them on Netflix in Japan and all this stuff.
Yeah.
What's the movie with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson that was out?
Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
something.
movie was released as a Netflix exclusive in Japan, and that's how I saw it. I watched the Japanese version of it.
That's crazy.
It's actually pretty good.
What was that called again?
Bodyguard's friend, safe house. I don't know. Hitman's Bodyguard.
Ah,
There you go.
right. Okay.
But yeah, man.
Because I keep
make a second
mistaking
one.
it for another one with Ryan Reynolds where he's also a bodyguard or.
No,
Yeah, Safe House.
There's a second one coming where they're gonna do it for the wife.
No. It's
But you're
him
talking about
and
Safe House.
Samuel? No, it's him and it's Safe
Denzel,
House. Him and
yeah.
Denzel.
Yeah.
Oh, there is also that. Yeah.
It's the same fucking movie.
Dude,
just a
same movie.
comedy
It's just
and
one of them's
action
comedic
movie.
and one of them was serious. It's so weird.
Ellis was also pretty good though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds can do pretty decent when he wants to be a serious actor.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Selfless
I think
wasn't
Ryan
that bad of a
Reynolds has
movie.
Very large range.
Yeah.
Very large range.
He does, 100%. You guys ever see
He
that
just
movie where
prefers
he is where he's a clone?
Is it Selfless? Is that what you're talking about? That's the one
Yeah.
I like Selfless. I thought that was well done.
Selfless is good. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's
yeah.
really good.
I think
It's
it
on
was.
Netflix.
Yeah, it was on Netflix. That's where I saw it.
One movie of his that was just weird was 9. It was just weird.
9. I don't think I know that one.
I think it was 9. It was him having like reincarnations of himself throughout the movie, and it was just weird.
Oh, interesting.
And like his reincarnation started remembering the other lives. It's an odd story.
9? Are you sure you're not talking about Selfless?
That
sounds
really does
very
sound like
close.
Selfless.
No. It's like read before. Hold on, I'll find it. While you
Okay.
talk about something
The
else,
last
I'll find
thing we have
Okay.
here, Ren and Stimpy show is being revived at Comedy Central. So to all you kids out there who are like, because Ren and Stimpy is like the grandfather of a whole style of comedy cartoons that are out right now. That kind of over the top. Like, it was one thing that kids liked fart jokes, but Ren and Stimpy took that shit to like a whole other level. So the fact that they're bringing it back is very interesting in this day and age. I'm wondering what that's going to mean, but we'll see. So shout outs to those guys for coming back. One last thing we wanted to get, Devin, you want to fill us in once again? You want to give people the rundown of what's going to be going on August 29th?
Yeah, okay. Last time, it's the Geekit Scavenger Hunt taking place at Meltdown. Starting point, 1 p.m., August 29th. To register, it's free to join in. It's free to play. It's all ages. It doesn't matter if you're a novice, beginner, experts. It's meant for fun for everybody. You'd have to go to the Geekit Hunt Facebook page to register. And right now, the last time I checked, which was yesterday, there was only 70 spots left.
Crazy.
I sent you the link. I couldn't figure out how to do it on this day.
That's okay,
I
man.
sent it to you.
We're gonna
chat there.
Yeah, we're gonna put it in the episode info, so people will be able to have it.
So basically, if you want a chance to get outdoors and have some fun, and also being physically distant too, with all the precautions in place, we have all that. We have all that set up. It should be a day of fun and enjoying parts of the city.
Yeah. Well, that's dope, dude. I look forward to it. Hopefully, you know what? I'll do my best to see if it's something I can do. But like I said, I don't know about being able to, because I'm going to be back in the office like the 2 days after that. And I'm already just like, that's a whole other freaky conversation going back to work. But if I do get my hazmat suit, I'll be able to go to that and then go to work. So it'll be fine.
But this is something that we hope to bring back also.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is
because this is our trial run, and already it's been a pretty positive. We got pretty positive feedback and reaction from it so far.
Dope.
The fact that we filled up so many spaces already is amazing. So during this whole time, since we can't do any conventions, might as well do something in between. We adapt.
Yeah, man. That's the game. That's the name of the game.
This is what happens, right? You just got to innovate and find ways to get through things. And I like that you guys are taking this initiative.
Yeah,
Hopefully
if also you can see
out.
other, you can check out other things that we got going on too. If you visit the Geekit Facebook page, we even have one thing I think we forgot to mention was our online marketplace.
Oh yeah,
meant for all like exhibitors, vendors, anyone selling stuff in the pop geek culture too. So it's like an Etsy for geeks.
Dope. Does Geekit has a website, right?
Yeah, it's www.geekicon.com.
Wow, there you go. Dave, did you find the name of the movie you were looking for?
The Nines.
The Nines.
The Nines.
I've never even heard of that.
This.
Okay.
Are you sure this is from our timeline?
Yeah. Another really good one.
Our universe.
Dave's not even from this timeline or universe.
Dave's not home, man.
Sorry,
Not
go ahead,
here.
Dave.
That's the end.
Dave's from the timeline where
it's the Nines, and there's also another really good one called Chaos Theory, which is him getting into divorce and losing his mind. And it's hilarious.
Oh,
it's
boy.
dark comedy, but it's hilarious.
I just want to see Free Guy. That's one movie that I was just like, I'm really looking forward to this. It feels like an original concept, or I guess a take on an idea, because they have done Gamers. I mean, the idea
with NPC characters.
Yeah.
The NPC characters you don't communicate with them.
Yeah, like have we ever had a game where the NPCs become self-aware and start running amok? Like I can't think of one. I mean, other than reboots.
What's it called?
But reboot
The
is like they're still
smashing guy.
Smashing guy?
The
Wreck-It Ralph.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
How you made that
Smashing guy.
connection from the smashing guy is amazing.
No, I understood. I knew what he was saying. Smashing guy, Wreck-It Ralph.
He knows. Oh,
That's
man.
dope. But yeah, I like this NPC idea. I like this like a self-aware NPCs. It's not done
me
as
too.
much. That's one of the things, right? We always talk about how 5,000 years of telling stories, you're gonna repeat. We're down, we get it. But the idea that you can always change stories just a little bit, or as we evolve and technology comes into play, we can tell stories about things that didn't exist. And I feel like NPCs never existed before, so now you can tell more stories with that kind of background.
Yeah.
And seems
like
dope to me. Yeah.
I like
Guys,
it a lot.
that's the whole show. That's it, man. That it was a fun one.
Boys, thanks for letting me hop in.
Yeah.
80% of the way.
Hey,
I
man, it was
appreciate
fine. It was fine.
I came home to grab some reading materials.
Yeah.
No.
Oh boy,
Well.
that's a he's bringing a stack, folks.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, also, guys, you know
Hey, shut your mouth.
we talked about comic books for quite a bit at one point in the show, and I just want to remind people, support your local shops. You know,
sure.
if you have a pull list, consider reaching out to them, seeing if you can put money down on your pull list. Keep supporting them. I mean, hey, you can even go into the stores now. We're not, you know, just social distance, be safe, but you can go pick up your comics. So, you know, support your local shops, because the comic book industry is creating so much new and interesting content that is then being turned into movies that we all get to enjoy. They are
true.
feeding a lot, you know, books, comic books. This was the first year where books outsold comic books, like physical. And that's only because, you know, things have been a little crazy. But previous years,
That
comic
makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
People can go in.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
some places, and some comic book shops actually do delivery services too. So
Yeah. So if you guys feel safer getting it delivered, do that too. But support your local shops. That's pretty much it, guys. That's the whole show. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks, Devin, once again for coming through. Nerdstock, folks. Devin, what's the website so that people can go check out all your stuff?
Actually, if you want to find out everything Nerdstock related, it's shanksevents.ca.
Okay, can you spell
send
that
you
for?
the link for that too?
Can
and
you
it'll
spell
hook
it
you
out
up
for
to
people?
Everything. Pardon me?
Can you spell that out for people?
Yeah, SHANKS events with an S.ca.
Bong. That's it, guys. That's the whole
Sweet.
show. Thank you. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Cheers,
Be
boys.
safe. Later, guys.